I believe that for me, buying Quant at the price of $125 is the equivalent of buying Bitcoin at $2,000. And let me explain why. First of all, if we take a look back in history, if we take a look back in 2021 at its all-time high price, Bitcoin reached the price of around $68,000. And what that means right there is that if anyone back then was able to scoop up one Bitcoin for just the price of $2,000, they would have managed to approximately, potentially, do a 34x on their Bitcoin investment. And now when it comes to Quant, do I think Quant can do a 34x? Yes, I do. In fact, I believe Quant will do it during the next bull run. In the past, Bitcoin did a 34x, and I think Quant during the next bull run will be no different. I think it's going to do the exact same thing, and I'll explain why I think so. First of all, when it comes to Quant, I think it is fundamentally amazing, and something that I find people often overlook about Quant is the fact that Quant actually has its very own NFT standard called QRC 721. And I think QRC 721 will be able to carry Quant to great heights in the future, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. First of all, as of right now, most NFTs nowadays are minted using Ethereum's ERC 721 token standard. However, when it comes to ERC 721, it's not perfect. In fact, I think it has a lot of issues. If we take a look at Ethereum's ERC 721, it's not really that secure. In fact, if we take a look at this, we will see that just in 2022 alone, smart contract hacks on ERC 721 have resulted in up to $87 million worth of losses. And I think that right there is completely unacceptable. And also on top of that, ERC 721 tokens lack interoperability and are unable to interact seamlessly with blockchains other than Ethereum. And I think that right there is one of the biggest issues associated with ERC 721. I think it's very limited, and again, right, it's just not interoperable. However, that is where Quant's QRC 721 steps in. With QRC 721, all of the issues that exist with Ethereum's ERC 721 are all gone. So I think this is a very big deal for Quant moving forward. I think QRC 721 is absolutely revolutionary. And some people may think, oh, who cares about NFTs? Some people might say, oh, NFTs are down right now. It's not going to recover. Oh my goodness. And for the people who say that, I will say this, right? First of all, I do agree that NFTs are down right now. It's not doing that hot, so to speak, especially when we compare it to back in 2021. But I will say this, I think that in the future, that will not be the case. I think that the future of NFTs are so massive, and I think the best is yet to come. And just to visualize as to how big the NFT market can be in the future, I will show this article by Grandview Research, and they predict that the NFT market by 2030 is expected to be worth over $211 billion. So NFTs, again, right, they may be down right now, but I think in the future, things will look very different for NFTs. So I think with all of that being said, I think it's fair to assume that Quant being focused on NFTs will do wonders for them, especially moving forward. And now I want to shift gears real quick and talk about the Quant network, because when it comes to the Quant network, I think a lot of the times people often underestimate it. I think a lot of people sometimes don't understand just how special it is. But in my opinion, I think it is just extremely extraordinary, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The Quant network, it's made up of two things. It's made up of the Overledger OS and the Overledger network. However, more specifically, I want to talk about the Overledger OS because I think it is just out of this world. I think it's amazing. In fact, right, through the Overledger OS, individuals and institutions can build something called a multi-chain application. And what a multi-chain application is that it's an application that is built on top of multiple blockchains instead of just one. So for example, through the Overledger OS, an individual or a institution can build an application that, for example, let's say takes advantage of the speed of the Stellar blockchain while at the same time taking advantage of the strength of the Bitcoin blockchain. That's how amazing it is. Through the Overledger OS, people do not have to be stuck building on only just one blockchain, hence the name multi-chain application. The Overledger OS is just out of this world. It's amazing. And also, not to mention, Quant already has amazing partnerships already. In fact, Quant as of right now is already partnered up with giants like Oracle and Nexi. That right there is absolutely insane. I think as the years go by, the partnerships when it comes to Quant is just going to keep getting better and better and better. And here's the thing, a 34x, it may seem crazy to some people, especially those Quant haters out there. They like to hate on Quant and say, oh man, Quant is never going to reach high prices. There's a lot of Quant haters out there that don't believe in the future of Quant. Some of these people think that Quant doing a 34x is just absolutely ridiculous, but I don't think so. In fact, I think Quant doing a 34x is absolutely very realistic, because if you think about it, right, Quant doing a 34x in price from right here, right now, would only mean that Quant would have a market cap of around $64 billion. And $64 billion, that may seem like a lot, but just understand this, right? $64 billion in market cap in the world of cryptos is actually not that unrealistic of a milestone to reach. We've seen meme coins, in the case of Dogecoin back in 2021, reach an all-time high market cap of over $88 billion. So Quant doing a 34x from here, having a $64 billion market cap, is still over 20 billion less than Dogecoin's all-time high market cap. So in my opinion, the market cap that Quant would need to reach in order to do a 34x, I don't think it is too ridiculous. I don't think it's too outlandish. I think it is a very feasible target for Quant to reach. So when I take into consideration Quant's fundamentals, when I take into consideration its use case, when I take into account its partnerships, when I consider all of that, I really do think that Quant will have no issues doing a 34x in price during the next bull run. And if you want to check out a very interesting video, make sure to go ahead and click on this thumbnail right here. It's an amazing video, and I think you all would really love it. It's a wonderful video.